In the last episode, I had reached Ladghar, and to reach the highway, I had to cross the waters in front of me, or else go back and ride for 7 kilometers to reach the highway. I definitely did not want to ride the extra 7 kilometers, and hence I crossed the waters. It was just knee deep, so it was easy to get through. From Ladghar, I headed to Dhabul to catch a boat to Veldur. After Tamastir, there's a very steep incline, probably one of the highest on the route. On reaching the top, you can see this statue of Parshuram besides the Bhagwan Parshuram temple. From the highway, you take a right to go to Koltre, and the road is very bad. I would say almost non-existent. So while coming down to Koltre, the road was very bad, and it was a very bumpy ride. I could see a scooter in front of me, which had two people. It was ridden by a younger guy, and an elderly person was sitting beside pillion. So I cycled past him, and I then saw that the young guy had a shotgun on his shoulder. As soon as the village came, the smooth road started. So I was on that road, and then these people came back to me on the scooter, and this guy asked me from where I was. I said Kalyan. He said, so from where are you going? I said Goa. On a cycle. I said yes. I said, okay. They said come, let's go home, we'll talk. And I obviously didn't say no because I feared for my life. The guy had a gun. Probably the first time I saw a shotgun. I saw a shotgun in real. So I went into his house. They had a veranda, and in movies, how you see a wooden plank suspended by the iron chains. It's basically a swing, and the guy sits with a gun and is lightly swinging. That's exactly how he started, and it looked like a film. And he asked me, and he talked to me about cycling, and then apparently I realized that he also loves cycling. Though his house in Koltre, he studies and works in Pune, and he does this cycling trip from Pune to Koltre at times. So yeah, he turned out to be the good guy. I mean, initially when I saw him, the whole setup, it felt like, in movies how it happens that you are in love with someone else's girl and then they call you. But apparently they're nice people. This is the Koltre Beach, and it's definitely worth a visit if you're passing by. After Koltre, again there is a very steep incline, and this I think is the highest of the route. That is from Kalyan to Goa. I think this was the highest. From Dhabul, you get regular boats to Veldur. So the highway I used to reach Dhabul from Ladghar is called the Sagari Mahamarg, MSH SH4 I guess, and it's the closest highway to the Arabian Sea. It completely goes along the Arabian Sea. So this highway starts at Anjarle and ends at Vengurla. For most of the parts, this highway is very smooth. From Veldur, I made my way to Guhagad on the Sagari Mahamarg. Between Ladghar and Guhagad, there are 3 very steep inclines, and it will drain you down. This day was the slowest of all, and I just cycled 50 kilometers. I walked a lot, like you can see in this video, because of the inclines. The incline at Anjanvel has a pretty long descent. This video is from that descent and goes on for more than 10 minutes. Once you're down, cycle for a few more kilometers and you'll reach Guhagad. This is the Guhagad beach. In Guhagad, I again stayed at a homestay, and this one too was called Advait Homestay. The cost of the room was 1000 rupees, a little costly. The food here is pure veg but very tasty. In 130 rupees you get dinner as well as breakfast. Very nice. I washed my clothes daily as I reached the hotel, as I didn't carry many extras, and I also felt good when clothes were washed the same day instead of carrying them in the bag. So if you're cycling for say 6 to 8 hours a day, you need to have some sort of protection, some sort of gear which you need to wear while cycling. But if you're doing it in a lighter way, like 1 or 2 hours, I don't think you have to focus much on the gear. But definitely if you're doing anything above 5 hours, 6 hours, I used to do 8 to 9 hours, and I probably after a few days I started to kind of believe that I'm doing a 9 to 5 cycling job. Where it was actually I was starting around 9 and ending by 5, 6, so it was sort of looking like a job. But then yes, the gear is important, what you wear is really important. I'm not that experienced in cycling, but with my experience I can tell you what is basically necessary. First and foremost is the helmet. So you really need to have the helmet. Though it doesn't seem that strong, but the cycle doesn't go that fast. So this is more than enough if you fall. So helmet. And then another important thing, I would say this is very important, goggles or shades or whatever you call. And it has to be sportwear. It should not be the ones Ray-Bans you wear for style. It's basically this covers the entire thing. Your entire eyes is covered, because this is very much needed if you cycle in the sun. You will really understand why, and you please don't do that. Get one. The other thing is a buff. So this is called a buff. I don't know what it's called actually, but I think it's a brand called Buff, and that's why people call it Buff. So this is basically, if you wear it, it stays in your neck, or you can cover your mouth, or you can cover your hair, whatever. But keep one of this handy, because it helps you while riding in the city roads and for pollution. It also helps you to cover your face if you feel the sun is too much. Then you have this hand sleeves, which you wear in your hand to cover your hands while cycling, because sunburn is very, very real, and I really burnt my leg because there was a gap which I didn't fill, and now I have bought this calf, I think it's compression sleeves. So this supports your calves. I didn't use this when I was doing the cycling, and I really had a dark red leg. If I have the photo, I'll put it over here. So yeah, sun really gets to you, it really burns you. So, and it's also it's actually one of the causes of skin cancer. So don't be too much out in the sun. That too for only 8-9 hours in the sun is not, I don't think it's advisable. So these are a little worn out now. These are the compression knee pads or knee sleeves. So now again, this calf and this thing is not mandatory. If you have a full pant, if you want to wear a full pant, it's fine. Or like this, like the hand sleeves, you also get leg sleeves for your legs. So it is fine. You don't have to technically buy the compression part of this. The compression just helps for blood circulation, and it kind of aids in your muscle recovery. But I think it's fine. Even if you wear maybe a football socks or long leg socks where most of the part of your leg is covered, is more than enough. The idea while gearing up is to understand that you have to be safe from the sun. So yeah, cover yourself up. Leg sleeve or pant or long socks or compression sleeves, whatever is fine, but cover yourself up, everything. And one more thing, you also have you need to wear the hand gloves, which right now it's I just washed it today, so so that is a little necessary, because your handles, the handlebar is a little rough. So if you constantly hold it, and if you're going with it for hours, this part of your hand will really be, it'll harden up and then it'll wear off, like this, how the skin comes out. So it's advisable to get a glove. One thing is that it covers your palm, not your palm, the back side of your palm. So that's very much helpful for the sun, and the cushion it gives to as a handle. So your hands will be soft, they won't become harder. This is the back part of the homestay I stayed at. If you walk for 100 meters from here, you will touch the Koltre Beach. I started at 8:30 AM and hoped to pump it up till Ratnagiri, which was 75 kilometers from here. I did have plans of quitting once I reached Ratnagiri, as the station was sort of nearby, and Ratnagiri was a big station, so I could easily parcel my cycle into the luggage van and get on a train. Or maybe I could also get a bus. The steep roads were really getting onto me, and now the frequency of such roads were increasing. So yes, I did have a very strong motivation to quit. To be honest, I also got a little bored of watching all the beaches, and hence I planned to only visit the beaches that falls on the route I ride on. Hence I missed the famous Reelundi Beach, and from Guwahati I directly went to Tausal to take the boat to Jaigarh. Jaigarh has a huge area that belongs to JSW. They have their power station, living quarters, schools, temples, etc. etc. Just ahead of Undi, I don't know how it is pronounced, there is a beach which has a stone walkway, pretty fancy. It's called the Reelundi Beach. Reel and Undi are two places, so that's how the name comes. And it's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful beach. Ahead of that beach, there is a beautiful stretch of road. And then we cross a bridge to enter the Ganpatipure area. Just after crossing the bridge, you can see the Malgund beach. And then the famous Ganpatipure beach. A little ahead of Ganpatipure, there's a property called Onest Nakshatra Beach Resort, which has a bar at a very scenic location. Try it out if you go to Ganpatipure. It was past 5 when I got out of the bar after having my lunch, obviously. I still had to cycle 20 kilometers to reach Ratnagiri. On the way, I saw the beautiful Arevare beach, but I didn't go to the beach. Finally, by 7, I reached Ratnagiri, and I had cycled 75 kilometers for the day and was feeling really positive. The thought of quitting had quit my mind. So 6 days had passed and I had cycled more than 370 kilometers to reach Ratnagiri from Kalyan. To reach Panji, I had to ride for another 250 kilometers, and that's where this episode ends. Do subscribe and share the video if you liked it, and to support me you can check the Insta module link in the description. Good day.